let's just dive right into this explainer, guys. Look, there is this massive misconception out there that you need a huge head start to build real wealth. But honestly, some of the absolute most robust long-term portfolios out there started with, well, basically the equivalent of your weekend dinner budget. Today, we're going to look at the actual mechanics of wealth creation. We're drawing on some fantastic insights on how to deploy a really small amount of capital, literally just $100, to create a sustainable, passive cash flow. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to strategy, consistency, and a total, fundamental shift in how you view your money.
We're kicking things off by tearing down the biggest excuse keeping people from financial independence. Section 1, the wealth creation myth and mental roadblocks.
This right here is the lie that traps so many of us. You need tens of thousands of dollars to start investing. No way. Most people falsely assume that real wealth creation is strictly VIP-only reserved for those who already have massive bank accounts. And you know what happens? It creates this vicious cycle. People feel like they don't have enough to start, so they never start. And because they never start, they obviously never actually build the wealth they're sitting around waiting for. It's a completely self-defeating prophecy.
It's just a completely backward mindset. Think about it. The amateur waits until they're rich to invest, but the strategist, they invest so they can become rich. Investing isn't a reward for having money, it's the actual engine you use to generate it. Once you flip that script in your head, the exact dollar amount you're starting with matters way less than the simple fact that you are actually starting.
To understand how you can start today, we need to look at Section 2, Finance Democratized, and this entirely new era we're living in.
Back in the day, exorbitant broker commissions and strict minimums meant Wall Street basically had a velvet rope. It was this exclusive club built with intentionally high barriers to entry. But today, well, with the advent of fractional shares and zero-fee micro-investing platforms, those walls are completely gone. Technology has literally democratized finance. It makes it entirely possible for anyone, yes, even with just $100, to own a piece of the world's most profitable companies. So here is your 3-step blueprint for deploying that $100 bill. Step 1, index funds. Step 2, generating dividend income. And Step 3, activating the drip.
Let's move right into Section 3. Step 1, index funds and broad market ETFs. This is where your first $100 actually gets to work. By utilizing a low-cost tracker like the S&P 500, your $100 is instantly fractionalized. That makes you a micro-shareholder of the top 500 tech giants, healthcare leaders, and global consumer brands, all at the exact same time. Instead of just gambling on a single super volatile stock and risking your capital on a bad guess, it's instant diversification on a micro-budget. You're buying a tiny slice of the entire profitable market all at once.
And here's the data to back it up. Historically, the broad stock market delivers roughly 8 to 10% annually over long horizons. Now look, you're obviously not going to buy a private jet by tomorrow afternoon on a $100 investment, right? But you are tapping into the undeniable steady upward march of the global economy. That average yield is the quiet engine that begins to compound your initial capital in the background while you sleep.
Which leads us to Section 4, Step 2, dividends and generating cash flow. Because hey, capital appreciation is great, but passive income requires actual cash hitting your account.
Think about it like this. When you divide that $100 across high-yield companies, you secure a passive claim on their ongoing profits. They do all the heavy lifting, executing their business models globally, and when they win, a portion of that cash gets routed directly into your brokerage account as a dividend. You execute the strategy exactly once by acquiring the fractional shares, and the corporate sector literally pays you simply for holding them. Finally, we arrive at Section 5. Step 3, the DRIP, or Automatic Dividend Reinvestment Plan. This is the mechanism that requires absolutely zero ongoing effort from you once it's set up.
We call this the self-compounding snowball effect. It's very much like Warren Buffett's famous philosophy on wealth accumulation. You see, when your initial $100 kicks off its very first dividend payment, human nature absolutely tempts us to cash out those first few dollars of profit. I mean, it's tempting, right? But a DRIP forces discipline. Instead of liquidating, you automatically reinvest that yield.
And the cycle is just brilliant in its simplicity. You earn a dividend, that profit is automatically reinvested to buy more fractional shares, which in turn generate even larger dividends. It accelerates exponentially. It starts out as this tiny financial snowflake and continuously rolls downhill until it forms a massive financial snowball.
Which brings us to the final and arguably most critical piece of this explainer, Section 6, the mindset shift, moving from a consumer to an investor. Turning a small amount of capital into passive income is a massive psychological leap. See, when you're a consumer,
Money is just a tool to buy things that lose value. But the moment you buy that first broad market fund and activate your reinvestment plan, boom, you adopt the investor identity. Your money becomes a tool to buy assets that generate more money. Honestly, this identity shift is far more valuable than the initial $100 you put into the market, because it's going to fundamentally govern how you handle every single dollar you earn for the rest of your life.
The velvet rope is gone. The barriers to entry are completely obliterated. The roadmap is set. You do not need a massive windfall to start. You just need to start the cycle. Let time and compounding do all the heavy lifting for you. So the only question left to ask yourself right now is this: is your $100 going to be spent as a consumer today or put to work as an investor for tomorrow?